Hi, I'm Felicia and welcome to my channel. Cricut launched a new version of Cricut Design Space back in January 2026, and not for the better for a lot of users. What they did was they added an edit button in the top left, and they took all the edit buttons across the top navigation and they buried it in that edit button. And when you clicked on that edit button, the canvas shrunk because that window expanded and you lost some space. Users were frustrated. People have muscle memory and they remember where things are located, and when they couldn't find their stuff, they just simply were not happy. So what I did is in March, I did a full Design Space tutorial, but it had the edit button in it. So I decided to do a quick update. I want to walk through where everything is located now in the top navigation, how they work, and show you maybe what still might be slightly buried. Let's take a look. In Cricut Design Space, I already have some text, a shape, and an image on my canvas. And with nothing selected, you can see that the edit menu across the top is not there. That only appears if I have something selected on my canvas. If I click on the text, you can see when I do that, I get an edit menu across the top filled with all kinds of different options. The first option is the operations box. And when I click that drop-down arrow, this just gives me a list of operations that I can perform based on the machine I have selected. And in this case, I have the Cricut Joy 2 selected, so my operations apply to the Cricut Joy 2. If I change that from the Cricut Joy 2, say the Maker 4, and for some reason I have to do this twice, when I do that and I go back over to operations, you can see now I have a longer list of operations I can perform because the Maker can do so many more things than the Joy 2. These items here are going to fluctuate based on the machine you have selected, but everything else in the edit menu across the top applies to any machine that you have, no matter which one it is. The next item on the edit menu is the color box. And this, when you click on that, it gives you a pop-up box of different colors you can select. This did not change with the update, but if you're unfamiliar with it, you can select a color. You can also use that drop-down box and you can pick exactly the color you'd like, or if you happen to know the hex code, you can type that in here. Now the color box is dual function. If I change from a basic cut to print then cut and go back to the color box, I now have a drop-down menu, and if I select pattern, I can now apply a pattern to my text or the object that I have selected. This did not change with the update. I just want to point it out that it's there. I'm going to go back into the operation box and go ahead and click on basic cut again. Next to the color box, you're going to find your font size, and your font style. If you click in the font box, you get a pop-out window here where you can select the type of font you want, whether it's from the Cricut system or if it's from your computer itself. And just click that arrow here on the side to close that window down. Then in the size box, you can use those up-down arrows to increase or decrease your font size. And based on the font you have selected, you might have a variety of different font styles, including bold, bold italic, or just italic. In this case, this font I'm using doesn't have those font styles, it just comes in bold. Next to your font options, you're going to find this icon with 3 lines, and this actually represents your text alignment. By default, your text comes in centered, but if I click on that triple bar icon once, it's going to change my text alignment from center to right. If I click on it again, it changes it to left. Click it one more time and it's back to center. This is just a quick way to shuffle through how you want to align your text, whether it's left, right, or center. Now this text alignment icon only appears if I'm working with text. So if I click on a shape, you can see the edit menu does not have that text alignment feature on it. If I click on image, it still doesn't have it. It only appears if I click on the text object on my canvas. This makes that edit toolbar dynamic depending on what you have selected on your canvas. It'll be different if you have a text object selected versus a shape versus an image. Next to text alignment, you're going to find format, and when you click on that, you're going to get a pop-up window. This is where you can make some changes to your text, like letter spacing. If I pick up this dot and I drag it to the right, you can see I'm getting more space between my letters. If I grab it and drag it to the left, you can see that I'm getting less space. This is called kerning. It's the amount of space between your letters. Then there's line spacing. If I grab that dot and I take it to the right, you're going to see that my lines are now further apart. If I take that dot and I grab it to the left, you can see they get closer together. Below that, you're going to find text wrapping, and you have an option to turn your wrapping off or on. And what that means is your text comes in with this green box around it. That's your text box. So if the text is off and I go in here to type, what's going to happen? is it stretches that text box to accommodate the additional text I just added. If I delete that and I go back under Format and I turn Text Wrap on and I start typing, you can see now that it's wrapping the additional text inside that text box. And if I go back under Format, Text Box Alignment, and you can align your text in your box, top, center, or bottom. So if I click on top, you can see that when I drag my box down, that my text is remaining aligned with the top. If I go back under Format and I click bottom, you can see now my text is aligning with the bottom of my text box. Back under Format, the last thing is Select Ungrouping. So you have three options. You can ungroup letters, ungroup lines, or ungroup layers. So with ungroup letters selected, if I click that, what happens to my text here is each one is now an individual item that I can move at will. So if I want to move it up here, I can. If I want to move the H down, I can. So that's what ungrouped letters means. I'm going to go ahead and undo that so that my text is all back to one. And back under Format, I'm going to go ahead and click on Ungroup Lines. And when I do that, now you can see that each one of my lines is an individual item that I can move around and align how I would like to. And just like with text alignment, the Format option is only available if I have a text object selected on the canvas. If I click on a shape, you can see that Format is gone. If I click on an image, you can see that Format is still gone. It only applies if you have a text object on your canvas. The next item on the Edit toolbar is Size, and size is going to apply whether you're working with text, a shape, or an image. So with text selected, you can see I have the size option. With a shape selected, I also have the size option, and with an image, it is also still there. If I click on size, I get a little pop-up showing me my width and my height of the item I have selected on my canvas, and in this case, it's my text object. And it's showing me that my width is 6.5 and my height is 3.3. The lock in the middle is on. That means it's going to maintain its aspect ratio. So if I change the width, it's dynamically going to change the height for me. If I change this to, let's say, 8, it automatically adjusts the height to maintain its aspect ratio. If I turn that lock off, and let's say I change my width to 4, you can now see that the aspect ratio is not maintained and my text is now scrunched together. You don't have to manually adjust your size by entering in a height and a width. You can just click and drag one of the corners of the object you want to resize, but you need to make sure you either have your lock on so that it maintains its aspect ratio, or your lock off so that it doesn't. So right now my lock is off, and when I click one of those corners and drag, you can see it is not maintaining its aspect ratio. If I go back under size and I turn that lock on and I drag one of the corners, you can now see that it is maintaining whatever the aspect ratio is. The next item on the Edit toolbar is Flip, and when you click on that, you get a little pop-up that allows you to select whether you want to flip an object selected to flip horizontal or flip vertical. So if I click on Flip Vertical, you can see my item is now flipped upside down. If I go back and flip vertical again, it's back. If I flip horizontal, it flips it like a mirrored effect. If I flick it back, I'm back to normal. That works the same whether you're working with an image, text, or a shape. The next item on the Edit toolbar is Arrange, and when I click on Arrange, I get a little pop-up window. And this is where you can select whether you want to move an object forward, backwards, to the front, or to the back. So to demonstrate that, I'm going to go ahead and click on this heart and change its color to pink. And then I'm going to drag that heart over or behind the text, Craft with Felicia. Now it's sitting on top of it. So to get that to move behind it, I would use Arrange and click on Send to Back. It's just that easy to use. All right, I'm going to go ahead and undo that. So with this heart selected, if I go back under Arrange, there's this thing called Position. And this is where you can tell Cricut Design Space where exactly you want your object to sit based on the XY axis. So I could come in here and I could change this 8.5 to 8 and make my Y axis maybe 3. So when I click off of that, you can see that it is sitting at the 8 and the 3 mark, exactly where I told it to be. I can tell you right now, I have never used this feature. I simply pick up my objects and move them where I want them to go. But it is there, and it's all sitting under Arrange. Arrange works whether you're working with text, shapes, or images. The next item is Align, and you can see it's faded out here, and that's because I don't have multiple layers selected. So if I click and drag to select all 3 of these items on my canvas, I can go back under Align, and now I can align everything top, left, vertical, horizontal, bottom, right, or center. And I can also distribute them evenly, vertically or horizontally. So if I click on vertical, you can see now all of my items are aligned vertically perfect. Now if I select them all again and go under Align, Distribute horizontally, it's now spaced them out so I have the exact amount of space in between all of these. The next item on the Edit toolbar is Rotate, and if you click on that, you get a little pop-up window that allows you to drag this dot to the right to turn your object a certain amount of degrees, or to the left to turn it the other way. This is also a feature I've never really used because I prefer to just hover over the corner of an object and click and drag it to rotate it to the way I'd like it to be. Rotate works whether you're working with text, a shape, or an image. All right, so the next item on the Edit menu is Effects, and if you click on that, this is where a lot of things are happening that you probably haven't noticed yet on that Edit bar. This is where you're going to find Offset, Create Stickers, and Text Warp. So if I click on Offset, I can then apply an offset to my item, which is basically adding padding around the outer edge of the design I've selected. And I'm clicking Apply, and then you have the ability to change the color of that. I go back under Offset. You also have the ability to create a sticker out of something. So if I click on the butterfly and go under Effects and click on Sticker, I now get a pop-up window over here on the left that shows me I can change my sticker to be a kiss cut or a die cut. I can add a border, have the thickness to be thin, standard wide, or make it whatever I want it to be, and fill the background with a color other than white if you want it to be, and can cut interior shapes if that's what you like. I have a full video on how Create Sticker works that I'll link to in the description of this video, but if you're looking for it, it is found under Effects at the top. You'll find Offset, Sticker, and Warp all under here. And for Warp, text has to be selected, and if you go under Effects and click on Warp, this is a Cricut Access Only subscriber benefit, so I'm going to go ahead and click on Check It Out, and I can then adjust my text based on one of these curved items, or change the curve myself based on this bar here where I can move the button left or right. I'm going to go ahead and click and drag to select that offset layer as well as the text, and then go under Align Center so that they're perfectly centered with each other, because I want to show the next item on the Edit toolbar, which is Combine. So when I click on Combine, I have the ability to slice, weld, flatten, unite, subtract, intersect, and exclude. So all of those features that allow you to manipulate your layers, to slice through things, to weld them together to make them united in one, all of that's now found under this Combine menu option. And if I want to go ahead and demonstrate one of them, I could click on Slice, and when I do that, you can see that I have sliced out the words from this offset layer. All of these Combine features are also found under the Layers menu. So with these two layers selected, if I go to the Layers icon and expand it, you can see here at the bottom, I have all those same features down here, plus one, which is Attach. So they pulled this out of the Edit menu and made its own little sub-menu at the top here, making it easier and quick for you to find them. Now, if you want to learn how each one of these items under Combine works, I will link a video in the description so that you can learn everything about those particular options. Now for the last item on the Edit menu bar, it's called Contour, and I've gone ahead and erased my canvas of any of the objects we were working with and added a colorful butterfly to my canvas. To show you how Contour works, it's now up here on the toolbar. If I click on it, I can now hide all my contours and maybe only select the full butterfly without any cutouts, and then click Apply, and now I can see I have just the shape of the butterfly without the cutouts. So that's Contour. It's now located up on the Edit toolbar, but it's also still under Layers as well. All right, so we went through the Edit menu and I demonstrated how some of them work and where some of the things are been buried now. But I want to point out that the Edit menu is dynamic, so it's going to change which icons are available to you based on whether you're working with text, a shape, or an image. And I want to just point one more thing out about that. If I add an image, let's click on Images on the left, and I get this pop-out menu, the menu across the top has also shifted to the right, and because there's not enough room for all of the edit options, it's now created this More. So when I click on that, that's now where I'd find my effects for Offset, Sticker, Warp, and Curve, as well as Combine. Curve didn't show up for me previously because I was working with text that was on multiple lines, and Curve needs to have the text on all the same line. But it works just the same as it has previously. You just drag that dot to the right to curve it down, or to the left to curve it up like a smiley face. All right, I hope that helped. Let me know in the comments what you think about this update. Are you happy that they put the edit bar across the top back? And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. We put out new content weekly. Thanks for watching and happy crafting.